Hey, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, you're watching the original Rebels Racing League.
And welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting's live coverage of the original Rebels Racing League Outlaw Truck Series. It's going to be a nice doubleheader on Sunday. My name's Josh Hall. We're here at Chicagoland Speedway for the Reisman Insurance 150 here on Intensity Broadcasting, and we're getting ready to do battle here in Chicago. Let's take a look at our point standings from last week. And Tracy Passion's still on top, currently with 2 wins. At 5 points back, you have the 0-1 of Jason Rockefeller, who still hasn't won yet, but has been consistently right there and keeping pace, with Tracy Passons. Steve Loving fell back a little bit in the point standings, but sitting back in 3rd. Michael Kosick, Jamie Mullins, Aaron Mack, Adam Lang, after winning last week, makes a big jump up into 7th in points. And Matt Kleeman, Fry Hubbard, Jeremy Burrell, and Steve McDonald are all tied for 9th place. And as I mentioned, Adam Lang getting the win last week at Texas. Tracy Passion's coming home in 2nd. And Steve Loving in 3rd. So 2 of our top 3 in points right there in the top 3. Then it's Daniel Stewart and Travis Bieber rounding out the top 5. Looks like we got about 3 minutes left here in practice. Again, we do appreciate you coming out here tonight. And if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or Twitch, don't forget to drop a like, follow, and subscribe. And if you're watching on eRacing TV, we do appreciate you watching there as well. What's eRacing TV? Well, it's a free app that you can download for your Fire Stick or your Roku, and you can watch live iRacing 7 nights a week across multiple different leagues. The original Rebels, the SESRA, the SCSRA, Extreme Forces Racing League, just to name a few here on Intensity. Plus, there's a couple more as well, so check that out. Like I said, it's a free download on your Roku and your Fire Stick. Again, that's eRacing TV. So we got about 2.5 minutes left here in practice, and Corey Hines currently at the top of the board with Andy Kurtz and Brandon Pollock. Round out your top 3, Chris McLean and Eddie Smith, the top 5. As we're watching Corey Hines right now, right there in the 57. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I'm going to make the comment. Corey Hines is in the 57 machine. Hines 57. I like it. If that's intentional, I appreciate the pun. Jamie Burrell in the 74 machine. Currently 12th in time right now, but practice really doesn't mean anything because you really can't win practice. Or you can win practice, but it really doesn't do anything for you. A lot of people just hanging out in the pits right now. Oh, we see Jamie Burrell get really loose. Great save there through turns 1 and 2. And Chicago, a very unique track. Let's take a look at the track information. The backstretch is not straight. It's got a little bit of a curve to it, so it makes this a little more challenging than your typical 1.5 miles. It's got a little unique shape to it. Tonight, temperature 67 degrees, 71% humidity, so a lot of grip that's going to be in the track here tonight for these guys as they do battle here at Chicago. Again, it looks like we have just about a minute left. 30 seconds left in practice. Couple quick notes, some penalties for tonight. The 14 of Fry Hubbard and the 01 of Jason Rockefeller will both start the race with a black flag hold for 30 seconds. They will not qualify for, or not be eligible for the Hard Charger Award. They will not be qualifying either. And then the, let's see here, the 10 of James Jones, the 19 of Matt Kleeman, the 43 of Mike Barossa Jr., the 44 of Phil the Hitman Manzo, and the 53, just want to figure out who the 53 is, that's Tracy Passons, will not qualify and will not be eligible for Hard Charger Awards as well tonight. So a few penalties from last week at Texas. That's going to leave 2 of our 3 points leaders on pit road to start the race, or will not be able to qualify. So they'll be in the back of the field tonight. So should make it a tough one here, as we have cars on track, or trucks on track, just starting qualifying. See Jeremy Brault right here. Again, you're watching the Reisman Insurance 150 here at Chicagoland on Intensity Broadcasting. And don't forget, drop a like, make a comment, and whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, make a comment. Let us know who you're pulling for here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Bully Dog Coffee Company TV just said woof. And Paul Passon says he's watching. So let us know who you're rooting on tonight. I know who Paul's chilling for tonight, because he's always here rooting on Tracy. Jerry Burrell running that high line here, trying to get that truck really wound up here, coming off of turn number 4 and down to the apron. They cut the track as small as he can. Kind of a throwaway lap on his first lap. We'll have to see if he goes down to the bottom here. Yes, he does. It's actually a shame that the Cup Series isn't going to be raced here anymore. I always thought that this was one of the more unique of the cookie cutter tracks. Had a little more characters than, say, Kansas or Kentucky or even Las Vegas. As Jerry Burrell comes across the line, he's going to be currently on the pole. Stacy Passon says, let's go, Tracy. And Paul Passon says, and Aaron. Yes, I know you cheer on Aaron too. Aaron's not in this race, though, so I know you'll be cheering on Tracy here. See Brandon Pollock in the one machine, running the Liquid Death truck. And he's going to move himself up into the 5th position. Corey Hines is taking over the pole. See Michael Kosick just finished his qualifying attempt. Let's see Eric Burkhalter out on track. Comes across the line for his first lap. Going to be good for 11th. Travis Bieber up into the 3rd position. See, Aaron Adcock says, let's go Mississippi boys. Tracy Passons, Chris McLean, Eric Burkhalter, and Eddie Smith, let's get it. And Jacob Ellingson says, let's go Ellingson. We're watching Eric Burkhalter here come across the line. He's going to move himself in the 14th. 11 Greg Froelich just coming out on track. Jacob's rooting himself on, said I should probably go qualify here. You probably should, Jake. Probably be a good thing for you to go out there and qualify. Try to turn a lap here. Get yourself a good starting position. Steve Loving, one of our top 3 in points, out on track right now in his familiar gold colors. Last week he was rocking the red, white, and blue for the Tunnels to Towers charity race we had last week, and now he's back to his familiar gold Miller paint job. as he comes through turns 1 and 2 here and onto the backstretch. Starting up his second lap here. And again, very interesting backstretch. It catches a lot of people off guard having that curved backstretch as Steve Loving comes across the line. And he's going to move himself up into fourth position. So a great qualifying run for him. Let's see if we can ride along with Jake Ellingson here and see if we can see that uniqueness of the backstretch here. Comes into turns 1 and 2. Doesn't really turn the wheel too much. Keeps the peg all the way down, wide open. And from the driver's eye here, you can kind of see it looks kind of straight. But it's definitely not, and it's a unique thing because you feel like you want to turn the wheel, or not want to turn the wheel, but you end up having to just a little bit. Ellingson all the way down on the apron across the line. And that's going to put him up in the 5th place. So a great qualifying attempt for an ugly looking truck. No, I'm just playing around with you, Jake. Just happy to see my Cowboys win today, so it's always a plus. Jerry LeGrand out on track. A lot of NFL, I believe this is the NFL paint jobs tonight. As we see Jerry LeGrand out here, out in the Ravens truck. Let's see if there's any other NFL style paint jobs out there. Again, a lot of people not qualifying tonight. We had 7 people with penalties who won't be qualifying. So I think when Jerry finishes his lap here, that will be it for qualifying. And that's going to put Jerry here up into the 15th position. So it looks like that's going to finish up with qualifying. We'll take a look at the starting grid in just a few moments. Again, thanks for joining us here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. If you're just joining us for the first time, we do appreciate you stopping by and checking out the first race of the doubleheader. That's right, tonight is a doubleheader. We will have our second race after the conclusion of our first, where the original Rebels Truck Series, the OG Truck Series, will be taking on Chicago as well. So you don't want to miss it, as it's always a fun night of doubleheader racing here on Intensity Broadcasting. Also, we want to thank some of our sponsors here. Reisman Insurance coming aboard to sponsor tonight's race. Also, as always, Mesa Motorsports as the series sponsor. Magic Mike Motorsports, the Mr. Irrelevant Award. P&J Motorsports for their Hard Luck Award. The Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award. Shappy Edits for the post-race interviews. Reaper Racing Sleeper Picks. Peg Leg Felt for the Peg Leg Pull Award. Smeal Racing Designs Best Paint. The Starting Grid presented by Magic Mike Motorsports. Kinder Farm and Ranch for supplying the Wreckage Rewind. So, want to thank all our great sponsors here on Intensity Broadcasting and in the original Rebels Racing League. And if you're interested and want to sponsor a race or get on board and have a shout out here, you can go ahead and get with the league. sure they'd be able to help you out. Always a great way to promote yourself here on Intensity Broadcasting and E-Racing TV. As we have about 10 seconds left before we start gridding up here at Chicago for 100 laps and the battle. And we're coming close to the end of the season here as well. I do know that I keep forgetting just how short this season is, as I ran the Xfinity season, which ran 26 races. And, you know, we have 2 races after tonight before the playoffs start. So everybody's trying to get in here to try to get themselves locked in to the playoffs. And let's take a look at your starting grid with Corey Hines in the 57. Winning pole, I know it says Fry Hubbard in second, but I know Fry does have a penalty and he's going to drop back. So row 2, you'll find Andy Kurtz in the 48 and Steve Loving in the 27. And Jake the Ironman Ellingson in the 61. He'll be rolling off in 5th with Chris McLean in the 6th position. Michael Kosick rolling off 7th with Jamie Mullins in the 66th in 8th. 9th, you'll find Travis Bieber in the 114, and rounding out row number 5 will be AJ DiMerzo. 11th, we'll find Jerry Burrell and Ryan Huff, rounding out row number 6. The 09 of Daniel Stewart, he'll be rolling off 13th with Josh Anderson in the 07. In 14th, Jerry LeGrand in the 28, he'll be rolling off in 15th. With 16th belonging to Trevor Burge. The 17th, the 1 of Brandon Pollock, followed by the 7 of Ryan Derrick. Row 10 will find the 50 of John Smeal and Stephen McDonald in the 68 machine to his outside. Eric Burkhalter in the 71, he'll be rolling off 21st with Greg Froelich in the 11 in 22nd. 23rd, last week's winner, Adam Lang with Ricky Montgomery in the 22 to his outside in 24th. Mike Morcrid and Eddie Smith will make up row number 12. Row 13. 14 will be James Jones and Jason Rockefeller. Tracy Passons back in 29th with Jonah Cobert in 30th. Matt Kleeman, Charlie Gates Jr., Mike Barossa, and Phil the Hitman Manzo round out your field here tonight at Chicagoland. Again, you'll see quite a few sports teams here. As again, we do have a lot of NFL-inspired paint jobs out here tonight. See Titans truck right there. There's a Ravens truck. So we'll take a look through the paint jobs as the race goes on, but right now we're getting ready to go green flag racing. Laura Lynn says, okay, Froelich, show what you got. Go, go, go. And Bully Dog Coffee Company says bullydogcoffeecompany@gmail.com. So looks like he's trying to get a shout out here. So the lights on the pace car have come back on. Looks like we've got some sorting out to do of sorts. So while that's going on, let's see if we can take a look through the field. If we have any other football style paint jobs out here. The 52 of Adam Lang here. Food Lion Feeds. So a couple paint jobs out there tonight. Phil Manzo in the New England Patriots. And the 10 of James Jones in the Detroit Red Wings. So now the lights are off on the pace car, or pace truck once again. We're going to get ready to go back Go green flag racing this time. Pace truck's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. And Corey Hines is going to lead him down to the starting line. Pace truck pulls off. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Chicago, and a great jump for our pole sitter. So he's got a great push here from the 48 of Andy Kurtz. That's going to push Corey Hines well ahead of Fry Hubbard, who falls all the way back to 4th position as they rocket down the backstretch. Looked like Steve Loving was trying to make it 3 wide for a second. He backed out of it. Now they are 3 wide as Fry Hubbard gets down into the side of Loving. Loving able to hold on to it as they cross the line for the first time. Corey Hines is going to lead that lap. A little further back, we've got a little 3-car battle here. They were almost just 3 wide again. Able to get it straightened out. Chris McLean has Steve Loving all over his back bumper. The 5 gets loose, and Loving is going to jump down to the bottom, take advantage of that mistake as they go into turn number 3. Side by side, this is a battle for 5th position. Oh, a little further back, Fry Hubbard gets real loose going into the corner. He's going to fall all the way back, and I believe he's hitting pit road due to that 30-second penalty that he's going to have to serve. Him and Rockefeller both on pit road to serve their penalties respectively. And up front, Corey Hines continues to lead with Andy Kurtz right there on his back bumper. Adam Lang already starting to come up through the field, up 7 positions from where he started, is continuing his march through the field. So move Adam Lang up into the 16th position. Steve Loving has a mirror full of the 74 of Jeremy Burrell. And Daniel Stewart up here trying to get around Travis Bieber. So racing all over the track. We got some side-by-side action back here with Josh Anderson and the 73 of Ryan Huff. Up front, Corey Hines continues the lead as we're working lap number 5. And it's about this point in the race where you already start to feel those tires starting to wear off just a little bit. As we see Jeremy Burrell. That's the 75 of AJ DeMarizo up on the high side, getting shuffled back. Although they're fighting side by side, him and Steve Loving, as now DeMarizo up on that high side, gets the great run. And AJ getting a great run up there, getting back around Steve Loving. Here comes Jeremy Burrell, seeing that high lane starting to work. So now he moves up there, trying to do the same thing. As they're side by side, still battling hard. And we're only on lap 7 of 100. Burrell's going to take that position away from Loving. Up front, we got a 4-car breakaway from the rest of the field. Corey Hines, Andy Kurtz, Jake the Ironman Ellingson, and Michael Kosick all starting to pull away from the rest of the field. And they're continuing to run side by side and battle for position. You got a big gaggle of cars back here. As it looked like the 28 of Jerry LeGrand was almost thinking about forcing it 3 wide. Thought better of it. Now he's going to try to make the look down to the inside. Not going to be able to do it. You see Travis Bieber running a very defensive line right now. Trying to keep that 66 of Jamie Mullins behind him. Steve Loving loses another position. He's fallen all the way back to the 11th position. As right now, this tends to be the best race out on track. See the comment, Red Wings boo, let's go Blackhawks. I agree with the boo Red Wings, as I am a Colorado fan. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Up front, Corey Hines now starting to have a little pressure from behind. So Andrew Kurtz keeps getting just a little bit closer lap after lap. Last time by, Corey Hines ran a 31:23. Andy Kurtz ran a 31:24, so 1/100th of a second separates those two on the charts. And the 05 of Chris McLean running this lead pack down. He's currently the fastest car on track. By quite a bit, actually. He's running about 0.2 faster than this lead group in front of him. And he's trying to get himself up to the front here to try to battle. Adam Lang in the 52, now all over the back bumper of Steve Loving. Adam having a great start here. Up 11 positions from where he started. Trying to get around Steve Loving here for make it 12 positions. Steve Loving, on the other hand, he's just been falling back. He's fallen back 7 positions from where he started. If Lang gets around, that would be 8 positions. Adam Lang gets real loose there on that high side. Has to gather up. He's going to lose quite a few positions there and falls back to the back. Well, Chris McLean has caught the back of this field. He's gone around Michael Kosick. And now he's setting his sights. Oh! Ellingson up into the wall. That's easily going to let the 5 of McLean around. As well as Kosick's going to get around as well. So a little brush of the wall there for Ellingson. I don't know how much that's going to affect his truck, but here comes AJ DeMerzo. Excuse me, it's a new name. Do apologize for that. He's caught right up to this pack as well. He's going to try to take the 5th spot away from Ellingson. Up front, Corey Hines and Andy Kurtz just pulling away from Chris McLean behind, excuse me, as Chris is a 2.5 seconds off of these two in front. We see Kurtz running a little bit higher line through the corner than Corey Hines. I don't know if that's just to try to get some air to the nose to get a little downforce on the front of that to help it turn, or if he just feels a little bit more comfortable up on that higher lane. Chicago is progressive banking, so they can run top or bottom here. A little battle going on back here. As the 50 of John Smeal has just gone around the 119 of Trevor Burge, and he's all over the 22 of Ricky Montgomery as Ricky slides. Sorry, Ricky stays right down on the bottom. Take it back. That was the 34 Jonah Colbert just went around. Here comes Tracy Parsons around as well. Right behind him, the 87 of Eddie Smith. So, some fast cars here. Moving their way back up to the front. Now Trevor Burge in the 019 under attack here from the 34 Jonah Kober, and being up on that high side with those faster trucks. I imagine we're going to see him just get freight trained here by him, Tracy Passons, Eddie Smith. And now Corey Hines pulling away from Andy Kurtz. He's got himself a half-second lead over the 48 machine behind him. We are 1/5 of the way through the race. We come across this line this time to complete lap number 20. Jerry LeGrand and Eric Burkhalter going at it here. Side by side. This is for the 11th position on track. It looks like that low lane is going to prevail here, as LeGrand is going to get around Burkhalter to move himself up into the 11th position. Up front, we got a little battle going on here as Michael Kosick is under attack by the 75 of AJ DeMerzo. And AJ looking down to the bottom, getting a great run using that apron, which is legal here to do at Chicagoland. And we got a yellow flag out on the track. And it looks like Greg Froelich may have had some issues there. Brandon Pollock, is spun around on the front stretch. I think maybe he saw, Froelich saw that. He decided to jump down pit lane before the yellow came out. And that's going to bring up our first Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. And, looks like Tracy Passons might have been involved in this one as well. So let's see if we can see what happened here to Pollock. Actually happens in front of him. It looks like Tracy may have got turned around first. And Pollock has nowhere to go. Catches Tracy. Tracy takes a hard. Goes over hard here. And let's rewind this back a little bit. See if we can see what happened to Tracy here to start this. I know he was running side by side with the 34 of Jonah Kober. And Jonah, he just comes up into the side of Jonah. I don't think he realized how low Jonah was. Two of them make contact with the wall. Eddie Smith looks like he gets away unscathed. And then Pollock has him locked up trying to get around and just catches that 53 just right. And I think Greg Froelich was actually pitting as the yellow was coming. Yeah, he was already on pit road, so. Corey Hines still on pit road. It's like all of our leaders came down in pit this time. Race off pit road. We're going to see Corey Hines, Andy Kurtz, Chris McLean, Michael Kosick, AJ, Jerry Burrell, Daniel Stewart, Steve Loving comes out in 8th, Jamie Mullins, and Jerry LeGrand, your top 10. But Corey Hines will continue to lead here in the Reisman Insurance 150. It does look like everybody came down to pit there. You see Greg Froelich here in front of our leader. He will be the last car on the lead lap, him and Fry Hubbard. Jason Rockefeller. Looks like he might have got the lucky dog there to get back onto the lead lap. And then Fry Hubbard and Greg Froelich being in front of the leader here. When the lights on the pace truck go off, they will be able to wave around and get back onto the tail end of the lead lap. So a quarter of the way through here at Chicagoland. Corey Hines continues the lead here with Andy Kurtz right behind him. We'll have to see if Corey decides to take the high line on the restart or if he's going to stick to that low side. As the lights on the pace truck are off, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them here at Chicagoland. Corey Hines is going to take the low side on the restart with Andy Kurtz to his outside. Then Chris McLean will be right behind him, and Michael Kosick will be right behind Andy Kurtz. And we saw Chris McLean really coming on strong there towards the end of that run. So he may not fire off as well as some of the other guys, but he's able to reel them in and have that long run speed. We'll have to see if that makes a difference here as the race goes on. So we're getting ready to go back green flag racing here at Chicagoland. Corey Hines is going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Pace truck's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Corey Hines is going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Chicagoland, and already the 05 making a big aggressive move down to the bottom, trying to get around Andy Kurtz. He's going to have to fall back in line. A little further back, Michael Kosick and Jay Burrell up on that high side. They've got the 09 of Daniel Stewart to his inside. And here comes Steve Loving on those fresh tires, trying to make these fresh tires work. All the way down to the bottom with Daniel Stewart. Now we see AJ working on the outside of the 05 of Chris McLean. We've seen Chris McLean show a lot of speed, just not able to get it done in the closing parts of the race. We'll have to see if Chris McLean can change his luck here as they're 3 wide behind him. Michael Kosick, Jerry Burrell, and Steve Loving were just 3 wide for a moment, but they thought better of it and went back to just 2 by 2. As this battle continues. AJ up on that high side, trying to use the high side, keep that truck all wound up and get the momentum off the corner. Tries to pinch down Chris McLean just a little bit to kill his momentum off the corner, and he's going to clear the 05 as they go into turn number 1. Jeremy Burrell now looking down to the inside. Daniel Stewart. Stewart able to drive in just a little bit deeper. And Steve Loving continuing his march back forward after losing so many positions at the beginning. Currently under the 04 of Michael Kosick, trying to take away the 7th position. Up front, they're still nose to tail up here as Corey Hines and Andrew Kurtz, as we saw earlier, running tight to each other. AJ DeMizzo already making his way looking all over the back bumper of Andy Kurtz, trying to take that fourth position away. As we ride along here with Andy Kurtz, it looked like AJ was going to look up to the high side. Looks down to the bottom. It's not able to make anything work here. And sometimes when you get right up on the back bumper of another truck, you can get a little bit of what we call aero push, where the truck just does not want to turn as well as if it's in clean air. So great job for Andy Kurtz to be able to keep AJ right behind him here. As they come down the back stretch into turn number 3. A little further back, we got a little battle going on here. Jamie Mullins starting to run down Steve Loving, trying to take over that 8th position. So we've got our first little group of cars, and we've got the second group back here. And then a second back to Travis Bieber, Ryan Huff, Ricky Montgomery, all these guys. So another little pack of cars. So little packs of cars, or trucks I should say, all over the track at the moment. As there is no real distinct group. As you see the 73 of Ryan Huff trying to make it around the 22 of Ricky Montgomery. This is a battle for 13th. See who else is in this battle here is the 34 of Jonah Colbert and Eddie Smith trying to make their way back up towards the front. Oh, Colbert slides up the track just a little bit, almost gets to the side of Smith. Smith's going to use that momentum on the high side and try to get around both Colbert and Ryan Huff here. He's going to make that high lane work. Move Eddie Smith up into the 14th position. And we got a yellow flag on track. It looks like Charlie Gates, the 7 of Ryan Derrick, spun down to the bottom here. That's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch record rewind. Let's see if we can see what happened. Oh, Jacob, the Ironman Ellingson, also caught up in this one. It looks like there was some 3-wide racing back here between Burkhalter, Ryan Derrick, and the 07 of Josh Anderson. And yeah, this looks like Ryan Derrick just kind of came down on Burkhalter. Thought he had a little bit more room than he did. And makes hard contact with the outside safer barrier. And he comes back down across the track, and Ellingson just nowhere to go. Just clobbers him in that driver's side door. Tracy Paston's able to sneak through there, along with the 68 machine of Steve McDonald. Oh, and then I believe not sure who that was that got involved there at the end. Let's see if we can rewind here and take a look from a different angle. See Greg Froelich just sneaking by there. That's the 55. Charlie Gates Jr. making hard contact as well. So everybody again comes down to pit road. Takes fuel and tires. And Corey Hines again out first with Andy Kurtz, AJ DeMarzo, Chris McLean, Daniel Stewart, Eddie Smith up to 6th. I think Eddie might have just taken 2 tires on that stop. Jeremy Barolt, Steve Loving, Michael Kosick, and Jonah Colbert round out your top 10. So let's take a look at our schedule upcoming. Tonight we're at Chicagoland. Then we'll move on to Talladega and Michigan. We have our All-Star race on October 10th at Auto Club. That is a non-points race there on October 10th. Then we'll start the playoffs at North Wilkesboro. Then Kansas. We'll take a week off for Halloween. Then we'll come back on November 7th at Phoenix and Las Vegas to crown a champion on November 14th. The way the playoffs work, if you've never raced with the original Rebels, they have 1 week cutoff races. So this 17th will be the round of 16. The 24th will be the round of 8. I'm sorry, the round of 12. Phoenix will be the round of 8. And then our finale at Las Vegas will be your final 4. So you're going to want to stick around for that, especially as we move on to one of my favorite racetracks next week, Talladega. Well, Corey Hines is going to continue to take the bottom lane here on this restart. Pace truck's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn here as we've restacked, and going to refire here. We are almost to the halfway point. The pace truck pulls off, and immediately Corey Hines hits the gas. Green flag's back in the air, and AJ DeMarzo, with a keen eye there, able to get right around Andy Kurtz and move into second position here. Kurtz, though, back down to the bottom, trying to take that position back away as they're side by side. A little side drafting going on between these two. And now Kurtz is going to try to do a little slide job here to get back into second place to see if he can run down Corey Hines. But Corey, that truck's just been on rails all night tonight. And he continues to lead here as we're working lap 43 of 100. Again, almost at halfway. Here comes the 5 of Chris McLean down to the bottom of AJ DeMarzo. A little further back, Adam Lang up on the high side, trying to get around the 66 of Jamie Mullins and the 34 of Jonah Colbert. Jonah gets a little loose there on the bottom, catches the apron. Yellow flag is out, and it looks like the 55 of Charlie Gates Jr. involved again. I think that's going to do it for him tonight. That's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Let's see if we can see what happened to Charlie Gates here. Let's see if we can pick up the action here. And oh, some three-wide racing there. Kleeman gets tagged by Burkhalter. And then Kleeman goes right around in front of Charlie Gates. You see Tracy Passon's right there as well. They come up the track. Passon's able to sneak through, possibly. Heads up driving for the 53 of Passon. You see Greg Froelich getting through as well. The 50, John Smeal involved. Looks like everybody else is going to get through scot-free here. So a tough break. Some of these guys just hanging out here, trying to stay out of everybody's way, and it happens so fast. We'll actually ride along with Smeal here so we can see just how fast things do happen. Looks like not too much damage for Smeal, just catches the wall a little bit. So it looks like he'll be able to go in and get that fixed up. Few cars on pit road. Ryan Huff, Greg Froelich, Hitman Manzo, Kleeman, Bertosa Jr., John Smeal, Charlie Gates, Brandon Pollock just left pit road. So it'll be another restart opportunity for AJ DiMarzo. See if he can get himself back up there. So Corey Hines continues to lead. Does anybody have anything for Corey here? As we are coming up on the halfway point of tonight's race. And so far, some of our biggest movers of the race. Before I say that, I got to check my penalty list here, because there are a couple people here who are not qualifying for big movers. So Jonah Colbert is currently our biggest mover of the race. 21 positions. Eddie Smith in the 87. Up 20 positions. And those are the only two big movers right now who qualify for the Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award. Again, before the race, the 14 of Fry Hubbard, the 01 of Rockefeller, the 10 of James Jones, the 19 of Kleeman, the 43 of Bertosa Jr., the 44 of Manzo, and the 53 of Tracy Passons all got EOL penalties, had to start at the rear, and would not be eligible for a Hard Charger Award. So the lights on the pace truck are off. We're getting ready to rock here back at Chicago. Again, Corey Hines on the inside with Andy Kurtz to the outside. Pace truck is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Again, Corey Hines leads him back down to the restart zone. This time he waits till the green flag gets in the air, and another great jump for AJ DiMarzo, as he's already to the inside of Andy Kurtz trying to take that position away. And here comes the 5 of Chris McLean, also trying to get around Kurtz here. Now they're side by side. DeMarzo is going to be able to slide up in front of the 48. This time the 48's not going to be able to cross over. As McLean is there, now McLean's to the inside DeMarzo. Here comes Eddie Smith to the battle as well. And while these guys are racing side by side, it's allowing Corey Hines just to start to pull away. Kurtz all the way back to 5th now. And we got a side by side. Oh, some contact between McLean and DeMarzo. As that battle ensues, Corey Hines is going to continue to lead, and that's what Corey Hines wants to see, is those two battling in his mirror. That was some more contact. DeMarzo is up into the wall. Eddie Smith almost gets into the back of him. Hard contact. Eddie Smith did get in the back of him, and the 87's got some heavy damage to the front end of that truck. Now McLean and Kurtz. Sorry, Kurtz and Stewart now going at it as McLean has cleared everybody. Here comes Jeremy Barol way down to the bottom. Big run here on Daniel Stewart. Same thing with Andy Kurtz. Down to the bottom, McLean. So they come across the line this time. And a little further back, we've got some big gaggle of cars here. All jostling for position. Battles all over the track right now, as these tires are still feeling pretty good right now. But this group back here, you could throw a blanket over 7th through, I'm going to say 7th through 20th. So 3 wide, oh, contact there. That was the 04 Cossack. Big contact, big slide, but able to hold on to it. Oh, we got some around on the backstretch. Sliding through the grass, the 75 of DeMarzo. Yellow flag is out. Tough break for AJ DeMarzo. Let's see if we can see what happened here as we bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. So I was talking about that big gaggle of cars there, and we see Eddie Smith right underneath DeMarzo. And I think Eddie misjudged where that 75 truck was. Now, you already saw the right side of the 75. It was pretty banged up there. A. Smith just slides through the grass, able to keep it going straight here. But DeMarzo, with the big slide through the grass, able not to hit anything. I want to go a little further back to see if there was some contact. If the 75 got up into the wall before that, yeah, you see, when did the 75 get up into the wall? Not really sure, so. But we do see everybody back on pit road. Actually, a couple cars deciding to stay out. So your current leader will be the 11 of Greg Froelich. Mike Brotosa Jr. will be sitting back in second. Brandon Pollock in third. John Smeal will be in fourth. And I do want to take a look at this car because I believe that is a Carolina Panthers car for sure. And now Brandon Pollock comes down onto pit road. But Greg Froelich staying out. So an opportunity here for Greg Froelich to lead this race, get some fresh, clean air on the front of that truck. And see if he can keep himself out in front. So next time by, the lights will be coming off on the pace truck. We'll be going back to green flag racing with Greg Froelich, your leader, and Mike Pertosa right behind him. We'll have to see if Greg decides to take the inside or the outside here on this restart. I know Laura Lynn's watching right now, and she must be ecstatic seeing Froelich up in the front. And Greg is going to take the inside here with Bertosa on the outside. John Smeal, Corey Hines will be restarting in the second row. Andy Kurtz, Chris McLean, Daniel Stewart, Eric Burkhalter, Steve Loving, Jeremy Barone. Round out your top 10. And for the first time tonight, Corey Hines will not be controlling the restart. So we'll have to see what Corey does here. Back in some traffic, behind some trucks. They have some older tires to see what they can do. As the field comes through turns 3 and 4. And Froelich takes off immediately. Green flag's in the air. And the rule is, as long as the pace truck is off the surface, you can go. And Froenich's getting himself out to a huge lead here. Almost a 1 second lead over Smeal. Smeal really holding up the 48 right now. Bertosa falling back, though. Is already fallen back to 5th. But the track position he gained, if there's another yellow is to come out right now, is huge, as Andy Kurtz is now working around the inside of the 50 machine of John Smeal. Excuse me, as they're already starting to run Froelich down, whose lead is now down to a half second. Bertosa, though, not giving up, trying to stick it in there 3 wide with McLean and Smeal. Oh, some contact. Bertosa all over the side of the 5 of McLean, and McLean's going to come out on top of that little battle. As up front, Andrew Kurtz has already caught Greg Froelich and is trying to take that position away. Down to the bottom, Froenich's going to try to battle hard on the high side. Here comes the 51 of Corey Hines into the battle. And he's going to give Froelich a shove here down the backstretch. And the yellow flag is back out. And it looks like the 43 of Bertosa had some issues here, along with Jerry Legrand. That's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. As I try to figure out what happened here to bring the yellow flag out. And it looks like Bertosa was just battling here. He had Daniel Stewart to his inside. Burkhalter had a great run up there on the high side. And the 09 just comes right up into the 43, sends him down across the track right in front of Jerry Barone. Barone makes a little bit of contact. So 43 goes sliding through the infield. And Jerry Legrand caught up in this as well. Off the front bumper of Jonah Colbert, a completely different incident. Oh, and Kleeman comes through and also makes some contact. Looked like Josh Anderson might have got a little contact as well. So that's what brought out the yellow flag here. As Greg Froelich decides to stay out and continues to lead this race. Again, don't forget to join us after this as the original Rebels Sunday Night Truck Series, the OG Series, will be taken on Chicagoland for 100 laps as well. As Andy Kurtz is going to be starting on the outside this time of Froelich. Froelich, I'm sure, is going to take off bright and early again, trying to get a good lead here to try to keep that lead and keep that track position. And don't forget to join us every night as we have lots of exciting racing coming up. Tomorrow night, we'll have the Extreme Forces Modified Tour. Street Stock / Modified Tour tomorrow night. They will be taking on Myrtle Beach Speedway. Tuesday night, we'll have the SESRA Dirt Late Model Series. They're getting pretty close to wrapping up their season here. It looks like, next week, Fairbury will be the last race of that season. After that, the Extreme Forces Cup Series. Tuesday night Tussle Series. We'll be taking on Texas Motor Speedway in the next gen cars. Wednesday, we have the LNS Late Model Series, followed by the SCSRA All-Star Race. You can catch that one. You'll actually see myself, Atlee Atman Weiss, and Joe Wright all in that one. So be sure to tune in for that one. Thursday night, we've got the Thunderstruck League. One more week before this week, the 24th, will be the first race of the original Rebels Xfinity Series. And then, as always, our Saturday night Cup Series here on Original Rebels, and then the doubleheader on Sunday. So, a full week of racing coming up this week. Be sure to tune in every night. As the lights on the pace truck are off yet again, Greg Froenich's going to lead them back down to the starting line. This time, Greg waits a few seconds before going, still gets off early. Green flag's in the air, not quite as big as a jump as he got last time, but right now he's got Kurtz and Hines side by side behind him. And that's exactly what Froelich wants to see to allow him to get out to a bit of a lead here. As we have just 35 laps to go. And we've got a couple of cars in the back sliding through the grass. No caution. That's Mike Morkin and Jerry LeGrand. And Corey Hines and Andrew Kurtz have taken the lead back away. Oh, we got a wreck behind Daniel Stewart. Jason Rockefeller up into the wall. Stewart and Rockefeller continue going forwards. Morkrid take a little access road here to get back on track. He's going to see Charles Jr. there. Up front, though, Corey Hines and Andrew Kurtz continue to battle for the lead. Not really sure what happened to Fronek there to let these two guys by. As the battle for the lead continues. And Andy Kurtz is going to get around Corey Hines here. Corey's going to look back to the high side, though, as they enter turn number 1. Corey's going to have that high lane advantage. So he'll get that big run here off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Here comes a little bit of drafting help in the form of Chris McLean and Adam Lang. Adam Lang having a great rebound after catching the wall earlier and sliding back. And now he's back into the 4th position and trying to make his 3rd top 3 in a row here. As they're still side by side right now. See Kurtz push up the track a little bit, trying to take a little air away from that 57 machine. Adam Lang looks like he's being patient, hanging back just a little bit. In case there's some contact, he's able to slip on through. Now Kurtz just barely with the nose as they come back through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Chris McLean, also trying to make a run here for it. And the yellow flag is out. Looks like Jason Rockefeller on the front stretch slow. That's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind as we see what happened to Rockefeller. As we know him and Stewart had quite the battle going on until they made contact with each other earlier. And I think that might have continued on here as they were racing each other pretty hard. Rockefeller and Stewart make a little contact. And the hard contact from the 09. And Rockefeller takes the hard, gets the worst of that one. Remember, Rockefeller was in 3rd in points coming into tonight, and he was looking to have a good race here to rebound after a tough race last week, and his race is not going the way he planned. So this was the pass for the lead earlier in the race. As you see Corey Hines and Andy Kurtz here as Fronek just slides up the track. Fronek did not have the freshest of tires as the rest of the field did. So you can see those two getting right around Fronek there at the front. And Fronek still having a great race, sitting back in 5th. Most of the iOS guys in the Extreme Forces League and the SCSRA would refer to Greg as the legend. Currently sitting in 5th place, Kevin Kinder waves hello. Kevin, thanks for joining us here as we got a Going to be about 25 laps left in this one. In the first race of our doubleheader. With Andy Kurtz here in the lead. Corey Hines going to be starting to the outside this time. Don't forget, if you haven't already, let us know who you're pulling for here tonight in the first race of the doubleheader. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe here on Intensity Broadcasting for live iRacing 7 nights a week. We had a special event before this earlier today, a soapbox derby for a fundraiser for someone who fortunately struggling with a brain tumor. So get a chance, go ahead and check that out here on Intensity Broadcasting. I believe you can find donation page there as well. Awesome little charity race that we were able to put on here before our original Rebels races tonight. As the field re-racks, restacks, getting ready to get refired here. Kevin Kinder says, looks like they're keeping the cows on their toes. They are definitely keeping those cows on their toes tonight. As we are coming at 25 laps to go here. Andy Kurtz is going to take the inside. Corey Hines to the outside. Don't count out Chris McLean and Adam Lang. Back in that second row. As they've both shown some late run speed here. We'll have to see what they can do here as the pace truck pulls off. Andy Kurtz hits that loud pedal, immediately gets back to the green flag. Gets a big lead off Corey Hines and Chris McLean. Adam Lang there on the high side trying to use that momentum to get the truck wound up. Also, Jonah Cobert all over the back bumper of Greg Froelich trying to move himself up into the 5th position as McLean now looks down to the bottom of Lang to retake 3rd place here. But Lang fighting back on that high side by side through the tri-oval. Now Corey Hines making a big move trying to get around Andy Kurtz as we have just 25 laps to go here. Corey Hines using a little bit of a draft here. A little side drafting down the backstretch. Trying to take over the lead. Adam Lang up into 3rd place. Here comes Chris McLean back on the bottom side. Oh, it's a little loose off the corner. McLean does. And now Corey Hines looking back to the lead. Jonah Cobert has gotten around Froelich for that 5th position. But Froelich having a great run here up in the 6th. I think this will be his best finish of the season. As Andy Kurtz is continuing to try to hold off Corey Hines on that high side as they battle side by side. That's allowed Adam Lang to get around Chris McLean. And now he's reeling in these 2 leaders here. Again, we know Adam Lang has the speed. He's shown it as he is one of our biggest movers tonight. Looking for a way around the 48 and the 57. And we got a caution out on the track. And it looks like Jerry LeGrand. Bunch of truck cars. Ryan Derrick, John Smeal, Jerry Barreau all involved. Kevin, this is for you. It looks like we got another Wreckage Rewind brought to you by Kinder Farm and Ranch. See if we can see what happened here We have multiple trucks involved, and oh no, our points leader, Tracy Passon's involved in this one as well. Tracy running way back in the field, and looks like it starts with the 28 of Jerry LeGrand getting a little bump there. Comes back up the track into John Smeal and Tracy Passons. Jay Barol comes piling in as well. And then all these trucks start to slide down the track. You see the 7. 7 doesn't get involved. The 7 of Ryan Derrick just getting through it, so. And Corey Hines comes to pit road. Andy Kurtz does not. So an interesting strategy here. Your top 8 do not come. So Ryan Derrick, who is just almost involved in that wreck, stays out here. And he's going to restart in 8th here. Corey Hines going to be 9th. Chris McLean in 10th. Adam Lang 11th. Jonah Colbert, Steve Loving, AJ DeMarzo, Fry Hubbard, Michael Kosick. Froenick's going to fall all the way back to 18th. But your top 8 cars stay out on track. So we'll have to see. Interesting call here. Staying out on these older tires when everybody else went in. Andy Kurtz was last on pit road on lap 54. So almost 30 lap difference in tires. We'll call it 25 laps better tires from 9th on back. We'll have to see what that does here. And if it's going to be enough time to make those newer tires work. So as the pace truck comes across the line this time, the lights will shut off. We'll be going back green flag racing here. And the Reisman Insurance 150 in the original Rebels Outlaw Series, brought to you by Mesa Motorsports. Andy Kurtz is going to take the inside lane this time. Travis Beaver to his outside. Jason Rockefeller up into 3rd. With Mike Bertosa Jr. restarting in 4th. James Jones, Jamie Mullins, Daniel Stewart, Ryan Derrick. That's your top 8, all on older tires. Then back in 9th, we'll find Corey Hines and Adam Lang. They're the first 2 trucks on fresh tires here. So we're going to have to see if fresh tires make that much of a difference here. As when we refire, we're going to have just 18 laps to go. And sometimes it does take these tires a couple laps to come in. So we'll have to see if taking tires here was the right call, or if it was a race losing move here. As the pace truck takes that hard left-hand turn, Andy Kurtz immediately to the gas. Green flag is out. And a great jump from our leader as Rockefeller tries to get himself in position to gain some good points here and have a great night here in points. He needs it here, as he is now gaining on the 48 of Kurtz. As he's trying to make a move around the 48 here as they come off of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Rockefeller with a great run here. He's to the outside of the 48. Now Rockefeller does have some fresher tires than the 48 as he last pit on lap 71. And caution is back out, and it looks like Greg Froelich around on the backstretch along with the 22 of Ricky Montgomery. Froelich, who was having such a great start or great run earlier, led some laps and now turned around on the backstretch, as that's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind as we take a look to see what happened to Froelich and the rest of them here on the backstretch. We see him to the outside of Steve Loving. Also, we see the 22 of Ricky Montgomery in the picture as well. Now, it looks like Loving may have came up a little bit. Froelich may have came down a little bit. A little bit of a racing deal. That gets Froelich loose there, trying to avoid making contact with the 27. And in that, tries to catch it and comes right down into the side of the 22. Two of them make a long slide down the backstretch, and doesn't look like Froenich's got any damage. A little bit of damage to the right side of that truck. I don't think it's going to be anything that can't be fixed here. That's going to put Jason Rockefeller up into the lead. Gina Lashley says redemption race for Rockefeller, I think. Absolutely is. He's had a couple rough races the last couple weeks. Now he's up here leading. And with Tracy Passons off track, been in the pits now for almost 8 minutes. It's going to shake up the points quite a bit. As Tracy is sitting back in 30th. Rockefeller's in the lead. The 27 of Steve Loving is sitting in 16th. And if we take a look at our points coming into the race, you can see how tight the points were coming in tonight. At least between the top three. And as I mentioned, Tracy Passons looks like he's going to get a DNF tonight, sitting back in 30th. Rockefeller, who's coming into the race in second in points, currently leading. Steve Loving, currently third in points. Currently running in 16th. So big shakeup looking like it's going to happen tonight here in points. And again, we could see something like Adam Lang here, have a great run back up to the front and try to get some points here. And Rockefeller up in second in points, but has not won a race yet this season. So consistently definitely paying off here for that 01 machine. So it looks like when we restart here, we're going to have just about 12 laps to go. As the lights are off on the pace truck. And Rockefeller is going to choose the inside. Andy Kurtz to the outside. Travis Bieber currently sitting in third. James Jones in fourth. Bertosa Jr. in fifth, having a bit of a redemption after getting caught up a little bit earlier in the race. And Corey Hines in the 57, already up to fifth. With Bertosa sitting sixth, so looks like these new tires are working right now. We'll have to see if there's enough time and enough green flag laps for Hines to get back up there as the pace truck pulls off. Rockefeller leads him back to the restart zone. Green flag's in the air. Andy Kurtz spins the tires a little bit on that start. That allows Travis Bieber right down to the inside. Also allows Rockefeller to get out to a great lead here. But here comes Corey Hines on those fresh tires. He's got on 4 feel goods, and you can see the run that he's got here, giving Travis Bieber a big push down the backstretch. Able to hold that white line much better than these trucks on older tires. Move Hines up into the third position as they come across the line. And as they go into turn number 1, looks like he's going to clear Bieber completely. Bertosa right there behind as well. You see the 5 of Chris McLean trying to make his way up there as well as Bertosa throws a big block on the 5. But Andy Kurtz and Rockefeller, here comes Kurtz down to the inside, and yellow flag is back in the air as we see Ryan Huff slow on the backstretch. Ryan Derrick slow as well. And again, we're going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. As we take a look, we're looking at Ryan Derrick in the 7 here. Oh, some contact between him and Burkhalter. That gets him out of shape. He comes right down into the 73 of Huff. And the two of them take that wild slide through the infield grass. Well, this is exactly what Rockefeller wants to see. Because the more yellow flag laps, the less green flag laps to run, the less chance that Corey Hines and Chris McLean and AJ DeMarzo have to use those fresh tires.
Charging battery.
So as we get ready here, Rockefeller looks like he's going to choose the inside, even though the lights are still on the pace truck. Looks like Rockefeller is going to choose that inside lane and keep Andy Kurtz there stuck on the high side. Corey Hines is going to be right behind Rockefeller with Travis Bieber restarting in 4th. And Rockefeller is hoping to get a great start here that allows Andy Kurtz and Corey Hines to continue to battle each other like they have all race long. Because if they continue to battle like they have been earlier, that's going to allow Rockefeller to get out to a bit of a lead and maybe be able to steal one here, starting from the back and using this strategy to get himself up to the front. Again, he's been consistent all season long, just has not won a race. You could call him the Kevin Harvick of this series, as he's been there in the hunt all season long, just not able to capitalize and bring a race home, win home. Lights on the pace truck are back on. Looks like we've got a little sorting out to do in the back. It does look like Tracy Passons is still on pit road, but I believe he has retired for the evening. Jake the Ironman Ellingson also has retired. Mike Morcrid, Matt Kleeman, Jerry LeGrand. So 30th on back have retired for the evening. So with Passons retiring here, that's going to be a huge points day for both Rockefeller and Stephen Loving. If Steve Loving can make up some positions here, as he's currently sitting 13th and right now, he would love to get up there, maybe gain a few more positions to try to take the points lead back. Although Rockefeller, with a win here, can definitely capitalize and get the points lead as we go into such a wild card race next week at Talladega. So as the pace truck leads him here through turns 3 and 4, he's going to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Rockefeller's going to lead him back down to the starting zone. Green flag is back in the air. Another great jump for Rockefeller. Is just as I thought, Corey Hines and Andy Kurtz are going to be side by side going into turn number 1, but Corey Hines with those fresh tires able to get right around Kurtz, and he's going to set his sights on the 01 of Rockefeller. Rockefeller's tires aren't that much older than Corey Hines, but they're enough where I think Corey Hines might have the advantage here. As they cross the line here, we have just 5 laps to go here at Chicago, and you see Rockefeller using the mirror to drive a little bit there, throws a big block on Corey Hines, but here comes Corey Hines looking to the high side. Now he's going to look down to the bottom, almost catches Andy Kurtz, who was right there. He got a little loose. That checked both of them up, and that allowed Rockefeller to get another 3-car length lead. They come across stripe this time, 4 laps to go. Can Corey Hines run down Rockefeller? Does Andy Kurtz have anything for him? Here comes Bertosa looking underneath. Oh, we got a yellow flag back on the track. As we see the 52 of Adam Lang, who was having such a great run, spun around in turn number 1. And again, that's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind as we take a look, see what happened to Adam here. Adam doing some hard racing here as time was coming down to the end. We see him on the high side. Comes through here, gets into the 10 of James Jones. James comes down the track, and Adam's doing everything he can to keep himself going straight. Doesn't hit anything, just takes a slide through the grass. That's what brought up the yellow here. That's going to set up a green-white checker, and for Rockefeller, I think Rockefeller might actually be in trouble now. It looked like he had quite a bit of a lead on Corey Hines, about a half second there before the yellow flag came out. And now, with a green-white checker, he's going to have Corey Hines caught right up to him on the outside. And Rockefeller is going to have the restart of his life here in order to keep the lead. Corey Hines, though, on a little bit fresher tires. Again, not too much fresher. 8-lap fresher tires. Andy Kurtz here on much older tires. As Andy last pit on lap 54. Let's bring up our pit strategy here. We can see with the last lap that everybody pit on. And you can see Rockefeller 71, Hines 79, Kurtz, Bieber 54, Bertosa, he's a little off cycle of everyone. Last pit on lap 61. And then AJ DeMarzo, Chris McLean, Fry Hubbard, Michael Kosick, Steve Loving, all pit on lap 79. Daniel Stewart on lap 70. Steve McDonald on 79. Ricky Montgomery on 85. So he's got the freshest tires of everybody here. But he's going to be restarting here back in the 13th position. So I don't think he's going to have enough time to work his way back up to the front. So it's going to be a tight battle back up at the front. See what Rockefeller can do to keep himself up there. So this time by, the lights on the pace truck will be off. Rockefeller is going to choose the inside line yet again. Corey Hines to the outside. Andy Kurtz going to be right behind Rockefeller. And Travis Bieber right behind Hines. And again, Rockefeller's hoping for a great jump here to keep Corey Hines and Andy Kurtz battling with each other enough to keep him out front. As we get ready for the first attempt of a green-white checker. Pace truck's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. And Rockefeller is going to lead him down to the restart zone. Green flags in the air. Good jump for Rockefeller here. But a great jump for Corey Hines as well, as he's going to almost clear the 48 of Andy Kurtz here. But now Kurtz is fighting back on the inside here as they're side by side for second place, allowing Rockefeller to pull out to a bit of a lead here as they come down the backstretch into turn number 3. We got a crash on the backstretch, but no yellow flag yet. Yellow is now out. And we're going to re-rack them and do it again, as we see a bunch of cars around on the backstretch. It's the 119 of Schmiel. We see, 119 of Trevor Burge. We see John Schmiel involved as well. And it's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch wreckage rewind here as we see what happened. And this actually happened well in front of Smeal. So a lot to take in here. We're actually going to go up on the blimp for this one because there seems to be a bit to break down as we see. Actually, let's go back to a different camera view because we can see on the left side of the screen some 3-wide racing. The 68, the 66, and the 07. I believe that's where this all starts as the 66, comes down. Catches Greg Froelich. Baralt involved as well. Froelich tries to hold on to it. He keeps it straight there. Baralt's going to take the long slide through pit road. Trevor Burge, though, now Froelich does lose it. He comes down into Schmiel. Schmiel comes back up the track. Catches the 7 machine. It catches the 10 of James Jones. Burge goes through the grass to avoid it. And then gets tagged by the 10 of Jones. Baralt gets a little piece of that as well. So, tough break. A lot of trucks involved in this that we're hoping to have a good finish. And that sets up another green-white checker attempt here for Jason Rockefeller. So our lights are still on the pace truck. Looks like we may be a little late starting up for the Original Rebels Racing League. We might catch them in the middle of practice or a little qualifying, but that's all right. As we have an exciting conclusion coming up to this one, so you don't want to miss that. All lights are off on the pace truck. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing here. Again, Jason Rockefeller down to the inside on the restart here. Andy Kurtz to the outside. Pace truck is off. Green flag's back in the air. Another great jump for Rockefeller. Here comes Travis Bieber looking down to the inside of Andy Kurtz. trying to challenge for that second position, and that's exactly, again, what Rockefeller wants to see, is them battling side by side behind him. Here comes Corey Hines into the picture as well. Yellow flag back in the air. It looks like Ricky Montgomery spun around on the backstretch. See what happened to Ricky here. And the white flag is in the air, so that was the last attempt at a green-white checker. Let's see if we can see. Oh, well, I didn't even have the wreckage rewind clip up there, so you saw me doing my rewinding here. So as we can see, a little 3 wide in the back here. Makes a little contact with the 5 of McLean. Bounces off the wall. Gets taken out by Adam Lang with just nowheres to go, and that's what finished him off. But the white flag is in the air. We are on the final lap here under caution. And Rockefeller will be your winner here at Chicago when he crosses the line. And your winner, officially finally getting that monkey off his back, is the 01 of Jason Rockefeller. Kevin Kinder, I will see you next race as well. Again, we got to do our interviews here, and then we'll be able to get right in there. And then Travis Bieber coming home in second. Andy Kurtz in third. Let's take a look at your results here. AJ DeMarzo comes back home in fifth, with Mike Bertosa Jr., Michael Kosick, Steve Leving, Daniel Stewart, and Fry Hubbard. Your top 10. As here goes our victory celebration on the front stretch. Before Rockefeller could even do his burnouts, he was already getting plowed into there. And again, I'm just trying to figure out who our Ray Cobb Award winner was tonight. As we get ready to take a look at the rest of the standings here. Tracy Paston's having a horrendous race tonight, unfortunately losing a ton of points. Let's bring in our third place finisher, Andy Kurtz. Andy, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me? Hey, Andy, it's Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey Josh, how you doing?
Man, great race tonight. Coming home in third. You and Corey Hines were battling hard pretty much the entire race, and you're able to get back around him there towards the end. But then Rockefeller just seemed to be too tough there, and I'm sure those green-white checkers there weren't helping your momentum. How was your race overall, and was there anything you could have done differently there at the green-white checkers?
Yeah, I think so it was super tough to pass. Unfortunately, it was pretty much just kind of a train around the bottom there. I think the only reason why I got around Corey was because he kind of got stuffed into the wall there last couple laps, but so his truck was pretty messed up. But yeah, raced him clean all race. That was super fun trying to pass him. I think the middle lane was starting to come to life there at the end. I was gonna try to pass Jason there on that restart, but unfortunately, just too many cautions and tough to get going on restarts. But it was a good race.
Yeah, and I noticed that your tires were about 20 laps older than everybody else around you. Did that kind of hurt you there at the end, or was tires really not that big of a difference there at the end there?
I mean, certainly wasn't helping that they were that old. I knew track position was so important. Um, I know a couple cautions back there, I was leading, and I decided to stay out. And I figured, if I stay out, everyone's going to pit, and if I pit, then everyone's going to stay out there and pass me. So with track position being so important, I decided to stay out there and hope that I'd be able to hold them off with old tires. But yeah, I mean it was tough, but good run.
Well, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys, Intensity Broadcasting, for putting on an awesome show for everyone, and of course the Rebels Racing League here for having me.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish, and I'm sure how you like your chances going into next week at Talladega.
I'll see how it goes. It's luck of the draw there, so should be fun though.
For sure. Well, again, congrats on third place. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Cool, thanks, man.
Let's bring in our second place finisher, Travis Bieber. Travis, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's up, man?
Man, great job coming home in second place tonight. Kind of came out of nowhere there towards the end. Fresh tires and a little bit of track position helped you pull off that second place finish. What was the key to getting up there? And did those green white checkers kind of hinder you there towards the end of the race?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall probably just got a little lucky with the way the strategy worked out. We and Andy were talking, Discord trying to figure out what to do, and then next thing you know, everybody's in the pits, and I said, you know what, you stayed out, I'm gonna stay out too, and we so many cautions at the end there, kind of really helped us. Probably being on older tires than maybe most of the rest of them. But having those short runs there, really helped out. I think if it wouldn't have been for that, I was gonna finish like 15th.
So was that kind of the strategy there? Just trying to stay off the cycle, or stay on a different pit cycle than everybody else there at the end?
For sure. Yeah, once I don't know. I don't. Last week at Texas, I was running really well, running up front with guys. Tonight, I figured it out for the life of me. So I was running, 15, 12 to 8 race, and I was stuck back there, and I saw Andy stay out. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna stay out, up there in the front with you. See how it works out, and figured, worst case, if everybody blows past me, I have another set of tires in the pits and on and hopefully drive back up through. So no, it worked out. I'm pretty stoked actually. So
Well, awesome job again coming home in second. Before I let you go, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give tonight?
just want to thank the original Rebels, everything they do to put this on for us, and thank you guys for the broadcast, and looking forward to next week. So really appreciate it.
That was my next question before we let you go. Talladega, how do you feel your odds are there?
To hopefully play some strategy and hopefully try to keep it up front. It's normally my if we keep it up front the whole time. Try to stay out of the mess.
Well, again,
hopefully have a good run.
For sure. Well, again, congratulations on second place. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon.
All right, thank you.
And finally, let's bring in our winner tonight, Jason Rockefeller. Jason, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, congratulations on the win tonight. Finally getting that monkey off your back. I know you've been sitting up there at the top of the points, but one of the few that didn't have a win. And with Tracy and Steve both having bad runs tonight, I'm sure this is the exact kind of night you were hoping to have.
Yeah, we were. We had a 15-second hold penalty on the green flag start for aggressive driving last week. I mean, I stand where I stand, but I mean, it's the league's ruling. They want to do what they want to do. I understand that. We were really fast. We came up through the field really, really quickly, and then middle of the run, I want to say about halfway, maybe a little bit more than through the race. There were two guys that were about to wall each other coming out of the tri-oval, and I had to check up. And I don't know if it was me, but I don't know if it was the 09 Daniel Stewart, but it looked like he just came right up into me and didn't even acknowledge. And then we were heading into 3, and I gave him a little bump. Didn't really get him loose, didn't try to wreck him up, just being like, hey, I'm not very, happy. And then off 4, he just right hooks me like a child. So, I mean, he wants to be like that, we'll see what they do about it. But, I mean, we took our last set of tires right there at the end, and we ran 4 laps under green, and the caution came out again in the field pit. So I was like, well, we got to stay out. Plus, we only ran 4 laps under green. So I was able to hold off, and cautions played into effect.
Yeah, I was about to ask, as those green-white checkers were coming out at the end, that must have that really kind of played into your hands, and I'm sure you're actually happy to see those green-white checkers at the end because you knew that you're able to hold those guys off behind you as they battled behind you.
Yeah, the late race restarts. I heard a lot of people over the race comps complaining about restarts. I know at one restart I was hanging too far back from the pace truck, but I didn't feel like I was. But I mean, everybody seemed like they were bottling up on the restarts. I was just trying to get down to the bottom as quickly as I could and just hold off because I knew that, Corey. I think Corey was on fresh tires and he just hung on my right rear into two and he hit the wall by just staying in it. I didn't try to block him, didn't try nothing. I was just getting tight and I tried to hold my line and just ran up into the wall. So I mean, I wish it could have ended differently, but it came into favor with us, and we just were able to hold on. I'm just glad, like you said, Josh. I'm glad we got that monkey off the back because I've been waiting to win this season. I literally choked away Texas last week, and I'm just glad we got one this week at one of my best tracks.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned in the broadcast you're kind of the Kevin Harvick of the league, but you kind of got that monkey off your back tonight, and good to see you get the win. Before I let you go, anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, I gotta thank my girlfriend Gianna for watching, supporting the team always. Gotta thank my teammate Jamie, doing a really good job. Wish it could have been me and him at the front. Gotta thank Josh Thompson, my cousin, team owner, doing really good this season. I think we're a real threat for the championship as a whole. I gotta thank Smeal Racing Designs and Shappy Edits, Circus Wines, and Rowdy Energy affiliate program. Everybody that helps out. Gotta thank Kenny Brady, my crew chief and spotter, for helping me out, teaching me. And you guys over at Intensity for broadcasting truck races and the league as a whole, and iRacing for giving us this great platform that we can come out here every week and put on the show.
Awesome. And before I let you go, one last question. I asked everybody, how do you like your chance at Talladega next week?
We're really good. I feel like I'm honestly one of the Dale juniors at the plate tracks. I feel really confident going into Dega. I know how to make the moves, when to not make them. And I'm just really good at pushing. So hopefully we can get in there and come out with 2 in a row.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win. I'm sure we'll be talking again real soon.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. Jason Rockefeller, your winner tonight here in the Outlaw Series. We're going to catch the original Rebel Series. They're about to start qualifying in just a moment, so we will catch you back in a moment. So stay tuned. We will be right back